My head is about to explode. Elon, pick up the phone and call President Trump. Just pick up the phone and call the president. You have his personal phone number. Pick up the phone and call him. Y'all, it is so much going on right now. Literally, it is too much going on at one time. Every time I get on the internet is something new. Every time I log on, it is something new going on. Something absolutely crazy. Elon and President Trump, y'all don't need to be fighting each other. Y'all need to be fighting Congress because Congress is the problem. Now, Elon, you can easily call President Trump. Please get off the internet and call him.
I want to talk about this whole Elon Musk and Uncle Trump situation because, you know, I feel like people are missing what to me is obvious. I feel maybe I'm tripping. Y'all can let me know in the comments if I'm crazy. If you think I'm crazy, please feel free to let me know. All right. But I think this whole situation is being a little overblown. So to catch you guys up to speed, if you aren't familiar with this entire situation, Trump is wanting to get his big, beautiful bill passed, that's what he calls it, the big, beautiful bill. Elon Musk has come out against the bill because apparently it increases the deficit, according to Elon Musk. He's also said some other things, like Trump is on the Epstein list as well. He tweeted that out. And I'm going to get into all of that. All right, I'm going to address all of that. But before we get into that, I want to play a couple of clips of Uncle Trump speaking about this whole Elon situation. Check out this first clip. Let's dive in.
We've done a great job. Elon knew that. Elon endorsed me very strongly. He actually went up in campaign for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway, even if the governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy, I feel sorry for him. But they made a bad choice with him. But if you pick Shapiro or anybody else, I spoke to him recently about his house being set on fire, which was terrible. But if they picked him, I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is. And again, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest economic development moves anywhere. We've never done anything like it.
So that's a little bit of what Trump had to say, but let's jump into the meat and potatoes of the situation, all right? Obviously, Trump had more to say, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that, okay? So as far as the big, beautiful bill goes, could Elon be right? Yeah. As a matter of fact, he probably is. Could Trump be right as well? Yeah. Are there, and what I mean when I say that is, could Elon be correct in saying, yes, this is going to add some to the deficit? Yes. Elon could possibly be right. But could Trump be right as well? Meaning there are some wonderful things in this bill that we definitely need to get passed for now, because in order to get this passed, we have to have these other things in it because of the rhinos in the party. And obviously Trump can't come out and speak out against the rhinos because he still needs them. He still needs them. I mean, like, and this is the thing, and this is why I can never be a politician. There has to be, there's a game that has to be played here if you're in Trump's position. You can't piss off the rhinos completely because you need them. They have to vote for your stuff in order for it to pass. If they don't vote for it, then none of your stuff passes. you're screwed, okay? So if I'm Trump, I'm playing the game. I'm not going to anger these guys, not yet. Right before the midterms, then you'll see how I really feel about these folks. Then I'm going to mobilize my base to come out and primary these folks, make sure they're getting involved, make sure, when the primaries are going on that, the base is out in full force and voting the Lindsey Grahams and the John Cornyn's and the Susan Collins and if Mitch McConnell was still going to be there, the Mitch McConnells of the world, right? Making sure we're still engaged. That's when I'm going to come out and speak out against these folks. He's not going to come out and say this right now. That just doesn't even make sense. Why would he do that? That would be so stupid to do when you need their votes. I mean, yeah, he can have some executive orders, but executive orders can only go so far. And with the way these judges are doing things, his executive orders basically mean nothing, because it seems like after every executive order, some random judge in San Francisco or New York comes out with the ruling and says, nope, you can't do that, Trump. So in order to get by that, you got to have the rhinos still on your side. It just is what it is. That's the situation we're in until we get these rhinos out. Until we get the rhinos out, that's the situation we're in. So I think they both could be right. They both could be right on this situation. Now, let's get to the Epstein situation. There's so much to say about this. And obviously, there are videos of Trump with Epstein. Here's one video just for full transparency.
Of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins.
Okay, I don't want to play too much of this music, but there is Epstein, not this giant guy. Who is this giant guy right here on your screen? Y'all let me know if you know who that is. Sorry about the footage. There's Epstein right there on your screen, okay? So it goes on to show him and Epstein chit-chatting it up right here. He's dancing the night away.
And pointing out women to Epstein and the other man, and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women. And
so they're chit-chatting. So just for full disclosure, there we go, okay? So he obviously knew who Epstein was and who he was. I was going to say is, but that doesn't make sense. Who he was, but we all knew that, right? We know that Trump knows Epstein and that he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because of how strange he was. We all know the whole shebang. Now, I want y'all to watch this clip.
The media, he's become one of your best friends. He's working for free for you.
Well, I love the president. I just want to be clear about that.
I don't care about that.
I know. I love the president.
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man, and he's,
It's nice the way he said that, There's something nice about it.
It really is. Because, the president has been so unfairly attacked in the media. It's really outrageous. And I've at this point spent a lot of time with the president, and not once have I seen him do something that was mean or cruel.
The media.
Interesting. If there was someone who knew, do you think? Let me reword that. Do you think Elon would say that about someone who was legitimately on the Epstein list? I think this is a game of 4D chess. And so does my brother Patriot Dad. Shout out to Patriot Dad EV 2.0. Check out what he has to say.
Hey, for those of you that are part of MAGA and you're wondering what the hell's going on with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, this is probably the point that you want to deploy the Bongino rule. You're going to want to wait 24, 48, 72 hours until you can see what's really happening. Because if you just grab some popcorn and you sit back and watch, I think you're going to find that this is probably the most exciting part of the play that's been written. The play acting is absolute brilliance, but you got to understand what the objective here is, and they are walking blindly into it. Imagine a scene in a play where one of the major characters was under absolute assault by the violent, radical, leftist extremist antagonist in the script. And when he leaves government, he needs to revitalize his company, the company that the left tried to destroy through firebombing his dealerships and destroying property and organizing mass campaigns against his stock price. And now suddenly he's their hero. Imagine a scene in the play where you need to bring to the forefront the files of the corruption and the decrepit nature of your adversary. And the best way to do it is to get them to start calling for it. Imagine writing a scene in a play so powerful, so effective, that the very same people who've been fighting to hide information that we've all been wanting are now suddenly demanding its release. And imagine using your show your ass theory so effectively that the very same people who took Doge to court over 180 times to block the cuts that Doge was recommending are now suddenly supporters of the person who was recommending the cuts. Don't you love play acting? Don't you love when play actors play their role?
I think this could be a game of 4D chess. And let me explain, because I know some folks are going to say, well, Rich, you're biased because, you know, you're a Republican and you like Trump. Yeah, fair point. That's fair. Genuinely, it is fair. But think about who we're talking about here. We're talking about Uncle Trump, who is no spring chicken, okay? He took $1 million and turned it into multiple billions of dollars. Not an idiot, all right? And then we're talking about one of the most intelligent people on this planet, Elon Musk, the richest person on paper, because I don't think he's technically the richest person on this earth, but the richest person on paper on this planet. He's no idiot either. Do you really think they'd just be airing their grievances out in the public after all of that? I mean, maybe. It's plausible, right? But I don't think it's likely. Okay? And I want to show y'all this clip here. I had a clip pulled up. Where did it go? Here we go. Do you think if Elon Musk truly knew that Uncle Trump was on the Epstein list, he would allow Trump to go off with his son? Check out this clip. Now, sure, some folks may say, but Rich, they're out in public. Like, what is he going to do out in public? Yeah, fair point. Nothing is likely going to happen. You know, if Trump was that type of person, obviously he's not going to do it right out there out in the lawn. But still, if you knew he was that type of individual, I wouldn't even allow, okay, a child anywhere near him. Not even to see him, okay? A child wouldn't be a country mile, away from him. Okay, let alone, you know, him being able to touch him and help him up onto the helicopter. Like, absolutely not. So this whole Epstein thing that Elon posted, I think it's a little bit of 4D chess, as well as I want y'all to see this. I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. Yeah. One of the Epstein lawyers posted that, had that to say. I agree with Patriot Dad on this. I think this is a little bit of 4D chess. This is a flip, one, for Elon himself to get the left back in his good graces. So they start buying, you know, EVs again, Teslas again. But then also so that they start calling for the release of the Epstein list once again. Because us folks on the right have been calling for it for quite some time. But the left has always pushed back and fought against it. But now they're calling for it. So now when you have an entire country that is screaming, release the files, Democrats won't be able to hide anymore. I'm just saying. You know, and there's some speculation that some Democrats are on that list that are currently very powerful in the Democrat Party. But what do y'all think, man? Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know. I don't believe that I'm wrong, personally. Just that's how I honestly feel. But what do y'all think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Why or why not? Talk to me. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.